But I want to clarify one thing, and it is that you believe that it is the government that should take the lead in drawing the framework for regulation.
Government is the, I mean, you know, in a democratic setup, the people's mandated government is the authority
But
who could do this
sure,
kind of work.
sure.
If not, you know, if the one group of people would, the other group would not agree with that thing.
Absolutely, but I'm sure you know this as well. By the advertising standards, for example, in the United Kingdom, in England,
Right.
It's completely self-regulated and it works very, very well. There is a code, there's an ethical guidelines code, and the public can complain. The complaints are taken very seriously, and it's a self-regulated body, and everybody is quite scared of getting the red flag.
I agree. I agree. But, you know, I mean, they are the cultural section.
So that's what I want to come to. Yeah,
involving
right.
there.
Okay.
Like, you know, if you have a culture where you look at that, you know, if you are doing wrong, then it is not, you know, it is shame on you. Then you don't do that. Likewise, you know, there is a culturally related, you know.
Are you saying indirectly that Sri Lanka has a shameless political culture then?
No, not political culture. What I'm saying is whole culture.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people's engagement, democratic engagement, culturally, you know, like if you don't want now, say in United Kingdom, they don't have, you know, constitution as such. Like they are governing their systems, meaning that they have some culturally related, you know, I mean, working pattern on this thing. Then you don't want to, I mean, have that problems. But here, the country like in Sri Lanka, you need to have framework, you need to have structures, you need to have some regulation to organize society, a system, or even businesses. That is the problem that we are doing.
I want to switch topics a bit. You are with Peradeniya. The university culture is perhaps well known to you. Something that I keep hearing very a lot when I speak to my father's generation. My father was in Peradeniya as well, and the students who are now in Colombo and Peradeniya as well, is that the political engagement, the political thinking is simply not there. Students are apathetic in Colombo, partly because half of the university, I think, is a high security zone after 6 o'clock. So there's really no space for student life, and that's qualitatively changed. So I keep hearing this, that university life is very different to what it was a generation or two ago.
Right, but I mean, it is not because of this high security zone argument. There's a huge, I mean, changes happening at university students' life. That I completely agree.
That seems to be just pulling them back from any kind of political engagement.
That is there. That is not because of this outside cases.
So what's happening with
within the university? There are, I mean, student politics. There aren't. I mean, there is not any piece of, you know, I mean, democracy happening there. That is completely, you know, authoritative kind of system within.
How can we change that?
That is a huge problem. You know, I mean, one of my friend professor told me that, you know, it is uncleared areas of the country. University student body is the uncleared areas, like in some, you know, areas. It meaning that, you know, I mean, the students are governed by very small group of people which relates with outside political process. Then these people don't allow any other new ideas to come into political positioning. I mean, they allow, like, you know, the you know, literature, film, all these other kind of things. They would say that, okay, go ahead. Because they don't want to engage with that thing. But if it is politics, then they are very keen. If it is if very small group is arising in any university. Now look at last week. I mean, I am a kind of outside observer what happens at Kelani University. I mean, one faculty is not belongs to that whole other faculty's political group. Then there's a crash there. That's there.
In terms of the culture, I mean, sorry, I keep coming back to this because it's a wonderful idea, but of engagement, creating the culture of engagement from young university graduates or undergraduates. Now, if it is the case that they are condemned to archaic, outdated, outmoded political ideology and thinking, you know, how are you going to move forward? How will you move forward? What, you know, I want a concrete idea from you.
Now, like, I mean, if you ask me that, I mean, whether I do student-related politics at university, my answer is no, I don't. I was involving when I was in the students' movement, but now what I do is to look at and to change their minding setup that we need to have open spaces. University is the place where you can develop, you know, I mean, that is the place where you develop concept, you know, ideas. But now there's one idea is identified by a group of people, then a student wants to follow that thing. That is the student politics, which we need to involve with, which we need to address very soon. It is a, I mean, huge problem.
So who do you think can do that?
In couple of ways. One,
No,
I
who?
mean, like who means like, I mean, same students.
Yeah.
One thing is like you need to allow them to, allow dissident to develop their positioning. That you need to offer some protections there, because they were beaten, they were, you know, I mean, doing a lot of, you know, insultance there. Then you need, I mean, we need to develop that thing. Then the university staff should also be given some, you know, authority to, you know, engage with these kind of things. Then, and the other thing is like when these political forces, you know, demolishing in the outside of the university, that would also be effect. Now I heard that, you know, in some parts of the university that political forces are not working in that way, but no politics at all at the university at the moment. That is also huge problem.
If I were to ask you in one sentence, it's a difficult thing, but I usually sometimes do this to people. If in one sentence you could give me an answer to how you would inspire that change that you desire, the culture of engagement, how you would do it?
At the university or at the...
In Sri Lanka.
I think engaging from our positioning, with our positioning to public sphere, that is the only way.
Well, I hope very much that you both have the energy and the commitment from what you're doing and the people you engage with to bring about that change. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for getting me and having me here. And I mean, this is a part of my engagement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.